I'm Maddie Kurth. Let's get you over to meteorologist Hannah Gard for a look at that Weather Authority forecast. Hannah, all those birds waking up at this hour.
Yep, that sun is starting to come up, but that's typically when we see the fog become the thickest, is right around sunrise. That's because that's when our coolest temperatures happen, and they can be right next to the dew points. So we're giving you the first alert this morning for some fog. We got to watch for super fog because we do have some marsh fires out there. And when you get that smoke combined with the fog, it can be even thicker than usual. So we do have a dense fog advisory across the area until 8 o'clock. We're seeing some patchy areas of dense fog, but sometimes the fog banks will move around. So it's kind of hard to track where those are when we don't have visible satellite before the sun comes up. But it looks like we have a fog bank across the North Shore, Hammond, Bogalusa, quarter-mile visibility, and then Galliano, we're seeing half-mile visibility down there. Elsewhere, it's kind of just a haze, so we'll be watching for those patches of fog, but we've seen super fog the past 2 or so mornings. The conditions for that are marsh fires being active, emitting a smoke plume. That existing fog that would form anyways in the morning mixes with the fire smoke, and the water particles can condense onto those smoke particles, and it makes for a thicker fog. Also, burning organic matter in the marshes releases more moisture into the atmosphere, so you have more ingredients for that fog. So that's why we got to watch for that the next couple of days. Now, the fog models are not saying we're going to see much tomorrow. I think that's because we get more of a westerly flow. So we still could see a haze, and I think we have to watch those areas where the marsh fires are. And then Monday, Tuesday, we're still going to have cooler mornings with that moisture, so we could see patchy fog even into the early parts of the week. So just make sure you're taking it slow on the roadways in the morning. If you run into one of those fog banks, slow down because the visibility can very rapidly deteriorate. Look at our temperatures this morning. 49 in Bogalusa, still very cool out the door. It's 46 in Slidell, 54 at New Orleans International. It's a nice feel if you want to take that morning walk, morning jog. Really great out there to start. We don't really have a true return flow, which is when we get a southerly wind. You can see that happening over toward Texas where they have 60s, and we have that southerly moisture flow going up across the lower Mississippi River Valley. We're right on the edge of where we don't really have that happening. The high pressure is still close enough to us where we're going to see a couple more cool mornings, but that's why that fog potential is still there. Our highs today will be in the 70s. I think we get to about 78 for our high, and then tomorrow I think we'll touch 80s at times, so just a little bit warmer, but we're still starting off on the cooler side. The problem is those daytime highs. If you're waiting for the fall weather, not really happening through this week. Our average is 71, and we're just pushing up each day with those highs and topping off around 82. By Friday, we're backing off a little bit, but that's because we're going to see some storm chances coming back around. It's not a big front like what we saw in the early parts of November and late October, and then of course that big Arctic cool down last week. This is not going to be that. I don't think that we see another strong front until maybe Thanksgiving, and it's still iffy on if that will make it to us or not. The reason we're warm though is this high pressure. This is the clockwise spin over Mexico and Texas. This expands over us and then it kind of hangs out through the end of the week into the weekend and the start of next week. This is kind of a blocking pattern where this high is stuck here, and we will see some lows coming by, but they're not really fully getting through. We do have to start watching for the stormy pattern. This is Thursday. This looks like a severe weather outbreak across the plains. If you have travel plans for Thanksgiving, something to closely watch, and I do think that will get to us. And then look at that next low coming, setting up over the desert southwest. Because we're on the edge of that high pressure, we have to watch for that stormy pattern setting up. Now, there's a good chance that it positions itself northwest of us. You can see that big bullseye there of rain potential, but I do think that we have to watch for the potential for some storms in our area by late week, but that's still a ways away. I just know that people will be traveling likely for the holidays already, the weekend before Thanksgiving. And if you are planning on traveling within the region, we got to watch for the severe weather threat.
Yeah, always something comes around that time of the holidays, you know.
Yeah, usually we have that severe weather season in the fall and then again in the spring. So we're entering that fall period where we have to watch for severe storms, but really nice weather for the weekend. It is a little warmer than maybe you would like, but at least we're not dealing with rain.
All right, no Thanksgiving feeling just yet, but it's coming down the barrel whether you're ready or not.
And there's a chance it makes it to us by the holiday, but we'll see if it actually happens.
All right, cross your feathers out there, turkeys. Thank you, Hannah.